glad that I'm co-hosting with you today because we've got some very Lise-centric topics today. Yes, so big things happening in the United States that I know Lise cares about, and I, as the mom of a high-level female athlete, I care about these things too. But I should tell everybody how you can get involved. Yes, please tell us where you are watching us from, because Lise and I like to tootle around in the summertime, and we just might tootle out to wherever you are, especially if you're on this peculiar prairie where we live. But this is the Rebel News live stream. As I said, it's completely unscripted. We talk about the news of the day, and we like to give you our spicy hot takes and sometimes our cold takes. We want to hear from you. So one of the best ways that we can hear from you without the censorship of YouTube is if you watch us over on Rumble, because they don't care about your political beliefs. They won't censor you based on those things. And they won't censor us either. And they allow you to support our work completely out of the goodness of your heart because you support Rebel News, unlike what Justin Trudeau does with the mainstream media, just giving them your money, even though they're unwatchable liars. On Rumble, you can leave a paid chat. It's called a Rumble rant. If it's over the $5 US, we are obligating ourselves to respond to it on air, but don't let that be the bar for entry, because if we have time, and you know how we love to make the time, if it's under the US $5 limit, we'll make the time if we have the time to read it on air. And even sometimes the free chats. Like if you guys are super funny or clever, someone will grab that chat and send it to us, and we'll do our best to address it on air. So all that is to say, big day for women and girls in the United States. I'm going to do my best to prance around YouTube's censorship because they really don't want us to dead name and misgender. So we're going to have to couch our words, but know that we are not doing that out of acceptance.
We're doing it out of necessity. Yeah,
necessity.
We're doing it out of necessity. Yeah.
So please understand that because while respecting our own consciences. But first, President Donald Trump, I would say a feminist president, given his protection of the rights of women and girls. From now on, women's sports will only be for women. Let's watch this.
In a few moments, I'll sign a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports. It's about time. My administration will not stand by and watch men beat and batter female athletes. From now on, women's sports will be only for women. In recent years, the radical left has waged an all-out campaign to erase the very concept of biological sex and replace it with a militant transgender ideology. We're honored to be joined today by many incredible advocates for women's sports, including the brave swimmer at the forefront of this battle. And Riley Gaines is a person that I've been watching. With my action this afternoon, we're putting every school receiving taxpayer dollars on notice that if you let men take over women's sports teams or invade your locker rooms, you will be investigated for violations of Title IX and risk your federal funding. There will be no federal funding. With this executive order, the war on women's sports is over. We are restoring sanity and common sense, defending the rights and safety and pride of the American people, including our great female athletes.
I mean, what an awesome day for America. What an excellent day for female athletes in America who have been denigrated, who've been attacked, who've been humiliated publicly by a press that is funded by their federal government to humiliate them in public. What an amazing day. I have tears in my eyes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm trying not to ruin my makeup because I so look forward to the day that this happens in Canada for our athletes too. And make no mistake, this exact thing has to happen in Canada.
Right. Because what's happening here now is worse than anything that happened in the United States. This is, save for a couple of provinces, largely just Alberta, this is unchecked in this country, completely unchecked.
Without question. Alberta, and God bless her, Premier Danielle Smith did more for women and girls by by dividing sports into biological sex than any other leader in the country, like she does. And in Saskatchewan, where I'm from, there are absolutely no safeguards to protect girls in sport. Girls and women are having their podium places. Stolen from them. They're having their trophies and medals stolen from them. They're having their opportunities stolen from them, because let's not forget that so many elite athletes, especially just naturally talented girl athletes, use their natural talents to propel them through the university system, to get scholarships, this is absolutely unchecked in Saskatchewan. As a matter of fact, I'd just like to put a call out for any Saskatchewan family or daughter who's been impacted by this and has a story to tell. You can get in touch with me. I am on your side. Just put a call out, and this goes for people across the country of Canada. If your daughter has been negatively impacted by this, Rebel is on your side. Get in touch with us, because only by telling these stories and only by holding these people to account will we be able to dial this back. And man, like I said, just what an incredible day in America.
What an accomplishment for Riley Gaines. She was really at the forefront of this. She didn't buckle, not even once. You know, the entire forces of the left, and I include the media in that, were coming at her and hell-bent on ruining her life. And there she is with Donald Trump signing this into law, and not just signing it into law, but attaching the or else to this. You will do this or else you lose federal funding. Not a penny in federal funding coming your way if you violate the rights of women and girls.
That's exactly right. And there are so many. Dr. Linda Blade did a really great rundown on Twitter about what this means for it's not just that biological males can't compete against females in sport. It means that universities must not continue on with this adoption of this insane initiative. This means that if they do, they'll lose their funding. It means that nobody from the international sporting community can do this in America when they come and compete in America. And for Canadians, this is us. So no Canadian team, okay, listen to me, no Canadian team may go across the border with a biological male athlete and compete against American female athletes. It is absolutely incredible what Donald Trump did, using the executive orders, the powers that executive orders offer him. And in Canada, I believe that Pierre Poilievre is going to have to get very, very comfortable using orders in council or the notwithstanding clause to fix some of these egregious harms that have happened to female athletes in Canada and females as a whole, to protect us from this egregious overreach of a minority rights, men's rights movement.
You know what? And I think he will, because he was pressed on this issue in that interview, and he was like, there were only two genders.
I'm only aware of two.
I'm only aware of two. What are you aware of? Yeah. I want to show this video because I watched this with my daughter, who is a female athlete in a contact sport. As you rightly point out, this is a vehicle for a lot of high-level female athletes to make their way through the university system. And they've been having there, in the case of the volleyball players that David Menzies has covered, they are being pushed aside and their scholarships are being given to men, biological men.
Sorry, can I just for a quick second eviscerate the male coaches who let this happen? Can I just eviscerate
cheaters.
The male
They're
coaches
just cheaters
who stand by and smugly smile as questions are being posed to them? Do you believe that men should be competing against girls in this sport or against females in this sport? And they stand there with their limp members in their hands and they don't have the balls to answer the question. It's egregious. It's absolutely egregious. Every single one of those men should lose their jobs when this becomes illegal in Canada, and I have no problem saying that.
Remember the East German doping scandal where they were dosing their female athletes with testosterone and we called it cheating?
Yes.
We called it cheating. I'm old enough to remember when this sort of stuff was cheating. But I want to show this video because this is
Please.
what it's actually all about. And I watched this with my daughter. It is of the little girls coming in for the signing, and they're just pouring in.
Okay, I'm gonna cry. I know
Okay,
I'm just saying it
watch.
right now. I'm gonna cry. Yep.
I thought he was.
My heart.
I'm so sorry.
I think that's good. I think we get the point. But it is all kinds of female athletes that this has affected. And this one thing that Donald Trump did changes their future forever.
Without question. These are girls from every social background, every economic background, every interest group who would have been called hateful, bigoted extremists for standing their ground and not wanting to compete against boys. Those are the faces of the girls that this executive order protects. And I mean, we just can't be more happy for them. We just can't be more happy for them. As like from the people of Canada to the people of America, you did your girls a solid yesterday, and Donald Trump got stars hammered in his crown.
Yeah, we await our turn. Now, speaking of radical extremists, if you get all your news from the mainstream media, J.K. Rowling, who actually should be a feminist darling given the success that she's had with writing books and pulling herself out of poverty. She says, congratulations to every single person on the left who's been campaigning to destroy women's and girls' rights. Without you, there'd be no images like this.
Amen, sister. Amen. Yep. That is an image for the ages, isn't it? Just contrast that with creepy Joe Biden, okay? With creepy Joe Biden with his decrepit fingers creeping up and coming in and kissing the little girls and having them being horrified. Compare that image against, I mean, America, you obviously made the right choice. You obviously, and wasn't Donald Trump just giving such grandpa vibes in that photo? Like with all these little people around him, and he's there holding up his executive order. He was just given cool grandpa vibes there. I just love it. I just absolutely love him.
We know that he has a granddaughter. Like he's got granddaughters, he's got daughters. So of course this is deeply personal for him too. But he has a granddaughter who is a high-level golfer, Kai.
That's right.
Trump.
Yes, Kai. Yes.
And so this is, I mean, if you're a dad, if you're a grandpa, if you're a husband, this affects you too. And, you know, like we've spent the last 3 decades, I think, making chivalry out of vogue. The chivalry is on life support. I don't think it's quite dead. And the women of the left have done their best to stick the pillow over its face. But they're normal men have a biological imperative to protect the women and children in their lives.
Yes.
And we just saw it play out in an executive order.
It was just beautiful watching that, you know, they're all just with such great expectation watching the Sharpie hover. And P.S. I love the videos of the scratchy Sharpie, you know, the pointy Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure I could do Donald Trump's signature by the amount of times that I've watched him do it. But all of these little girls just just so with such great expectation, watching the Sharpie hover over the page. And then as his signature is complete, they know that they are protected. What an amazing moment for them. What an amazing moment.
I'm asking the team to find what the opposite of those visuals are. And it was from Toronto. Hopefully someone can find it. This is it. Alex Y has found it for us. This is the opposite imagery of this grandpa gathered around with all these healthy children and their loving mothers and dads that we saw with Donald Trump. Strong grandpa vibes. This is what the opposite is like. That's the Ontario NDP urging legal protections for drag shows so that this motley crew of weirdos, these look like Mr. Potato Head leftover pieces that you just stuck in, and like maybe 3 arms and extra lips. They were demanding protections for drag shows so that they could continue to show sexualized materials to children like this. And what an absolute kaleidoscope of the worst of humanity before us.
Oh, hi, it's Ezra Levant here in Toronto with an important message because we need your help. Independent journalism in Canada is under attack. Government censors, big tech deplatformers, and the dying legacy media are all working together to maintain exclusive control on the information you receive. They don't want you to hear other voices like ours, and they really don't want you to be informed and to think for yourself. That's why the work we do here at Rebel News is so important. Our on-the-ground reporting, independent news shows, and special content you won't find anywhere else. It's all designed to give you trustworthy information and alternative viewpoints so you can decide for yourself. We don't get government money, and we are not owned by some big global conglomerate. We're funded by people just like you, so please support independent journalism and help us continue our work by subscribing and becoming a Rebel News Plus member today, right here on the page. Go to rebelnewsplus.com.